Hello, viewers of the internet. Welcome to the Splat Chat, the only show on the internet where a couple of idiotic teenagers tell you about how to play Splatoon. Today, I am joined with the same loser that was with me yesterday, and my Discord's having a seizure. Or not yesterday, but last week. This is the Creep. Say hi.
Hello.
Yep. Today we will be talking mainly about Splatoon 2, and then some other stuff, probably, if we have time. So, yep.
Time is everything.
Let's first start out by talking about the test fire. How did you... I know you barely got to play any of it, but how'd you like it?
It was interesting, but the one thing that I absolutely hated about the test fire was the stingray.
Really? Why?
That thing was a literal heaping, steaming pile of crap.
You know, I used to think that too, but then I started thinking, what if we're actually just not using it right? Like, I think we're trying to use it as sort of a killer whale sort of thing, but I think it's less for keeping enemies in one spot as it is for just kind of, I don't even know. Maybe, you know how in the reef it has that little ledge so you can't spawn camp the enemy team?
Yeah.
What if the stingray is the spawn camping weapon? What if that's what it's for? I don't know, that'd be stupid, but maybe.
Well, what if it's spawn camping, but also anti-spawn camping?
I don't know. That could work, I guess. I think most people were trying to use it as sort of a longer ranged Inksuka, you know, kind of focusing on killing enemies, when really it's not supposed to do that. I'm not saying it's good, but I still think that, like, in tower control, you know, the tower is moving towards your base, you pull out your stingray and you just put it in front of the tower, and everyone on the tower has to get off, or else they're just gonna get cut in half. I think that's what they were trying to use it for, but it still sucks.
Be basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it that way, the weapon starts getting better and better.
It starts
But
yeah.
I don't know. The weapon seems just a little too underpowered.
Mm-hmm. Then again,
Like,
all of the specials are underpowered compared to those in the first game, so...
It's really sad.
No, actually it's good, because in the first game, specials would win games, and, you know, if your team didn't have good special coordination, you would just lose. So, if the specials are worse, that means it puts more emphasis on actual skill and less, hey look, let's push, spam your Kraken. If you know what I'm saying.
I guess so.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Dualies. Did you like the dualies?
The dualies are very interesting in my opinion. They have about the range of the junior.
Yeah.
The fire rate of the junior, probably around the kill time of the junior too. We don't know that yet because we haven't dug into the game's files that much. We ourselves haven't. I think other people have, though.
Yeah.
And the constantly evolving sub-weapon. Seriously, that thing has been classified to have 3 different sub-weapons at different times. Like, during the demo in New York, it had suction bombs.
Yep.
During the test fire, it had what are those things called? Shuffling bombs that are like seekers. And then...
I forgot what they were called.
Whatever they're called.
I forgot.
And then now, in the image that you were showing me, it has burst bombs.
Yeah. I have a feeling though that
And,
that's just like a different kit for the same weapon, sort of in the same vein as the splatter shot is to the Tenatech splatter shot. But then again, they look exactly the same, so I don't know.
That's true. I mean, yeah, they look pretty much the same.
I think.
What if?
I think the.
What if there was this?
Okay.
Oh, fine, talk.
I think the dualies are good, but something about them. I don't know if they're perfectly balanced, too good or not good enough. Cause, like, it's probably just me. I probably just suck at them, but just having that roll ability completely screws up everything I was trying to do. Like,
I mean, yeah, trying to jump while shooting. Nope, you're rolling.
yep. Like, I think the biggest problem for me was that, in case you don't know, unlike any other shooter, I think, Splatoon's camera moves without you actually touching the other analog stick or moving the gamepad. Like, if you just move in a certain direction with the left stick, the camera will gradually move to sort of face in front of you. And I think that kind of screws up the aiming after you dodge roll, because you move sharply to the side very quickly, and your camera just kind of goes sort of in front of you, you know? And then you...
That's true.
But then again, the people who...
There are things that are true?
Yes, there are things that are true. What was I saying? I don't even know.
Something.
But then again, if you get good with the dodging, which I did not, you can dodge all of the attacks and stuff. And
Right, like, I think the rolling technique was basically a counter to rollers and chargers. Because
I think it actually makes the rollers better, because the rollers have such a giant hitbox that's just like blam.
If they're not vertical flicking, then yeah.
Well, I mean,
If you can
go.
If you can like roll behind them right before they flick and just master that technique of timing it perfectly, then I think it's a perfect counter to rollers. And obviously it'd be a good counter to the chargers, because you could stand right in front of them, roll off to the side, and unless they're really good at snapping their shots, there's nothing they can do.
I still think rollers have the advantage, though, because if they're just normally flicking, they, there's a dually in front of you. This is like CQC. You raise up your roller, like your big thing. They spin to the left, and then since your roller is actually still in the air, just twist your gyro as it comes down. That's what good Dynamo players do, to make people think they're not aiming at them. That's just how it works. I think rollers are going to be good against dualies, and I think you're wrong, so get wrecked, noob.
Wow, really interesting.
Yes.
I think we should go a little more in depth on the specials in Splatoon 2. Because as you said, they're slightly, if not more, worse than the specials in Splatoon.
Slightly, if not more, worse.
Yes.
Beautiful wordplay.
My knowledge is too much for you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Use of Earth is very important.
I think Tentamissiles are good. They're like an ink strike and an echolocator. If you just slap them together, and it works really well. I think it's probably my favorite from the test fire.
I seem to enjoy that one too, because if someone is stuck in a corner, basically the only way they can get out is if they super jump away. And if they have stealth jump on them, if that's even coming into the next game, they'll just be destroyed before they jump away.
Yep. What else? Splashdown, I think, is great because it does what everyone uses the Kraken and the Bubbler for, you know, sort of as the panic button, but it's still not invincible, and it takes a while, so it's just great. It's like,
and you can also do it while you're super jumping. You could activate your special, and anyone trying to super jump camp you just gets obliterated.
yeah,
And I think that can be used even better on tower control, because you could just not use stealth jump, but have a weapon with that special on it. And then if someone takes the tower when you just selected one of your teammates to jump to, that's on the tower, you could possibly activate your special in midair if you charged up your special meter, and then destroy everyone on the tower, push it forward.
What was I gonna say? I don't know. Now that we're talking about stealth jump, sorta, I think that stealth jump might not even be returning, because if you think about it, what stealth jump does is it sort of ensures that you're going to have a safe super jump. But the splashdown essentially does the same thing, because you'll splash down during your jump, and you're safe when you land, because you kill everyone around you. So, what if stealth jump doesn't even come back? Shut up, Discord.
It is possible. I don't know, though.
Yeah.
What are the other ones? Because we kind of went into Stingray.
Inkjet.
Inkjet. I think that's a pretty good special.
Inkjet is like a rapid blaster with, like, on steroids. It's like if you took
a rapid blaster crossed with an Inkzuka with the fire rate of some weapon and the range of, like, mask range.
Yep. I didn't really like it because I could not figure out how to actually, like, fly the thing. The aiming was weird because it kept going up and down and up and down, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But it got used against me a lot. That wasn't very fun.
Yeah. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think the elevation, like how high you are off the ground, depends on the ground that you're under.
That is
May
true.
or may not be true.
That is true to some extent, but you can also raise and lower it pressing jump or the squid button.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Actually, believe it or not, you could be flying, and then you could press the squid button and go directly into squid form back into your ink, and then you essentially have an Inkzuka that can fly, since you'd be on the ground at that point. I think that's how it's going to be used competitively, and Nintendo's just going to be like, no, stop it, that's not how it's supposed to work, nerf, nerf, nerf. Yep.
Yeah, eventually it's gonna happen.
I'm not sure if you knew this, but you can actually, like, the exhaust that comes out of the rocket, if you actually fly over someone and that hits them, they die. It's like a one-shot right under you.
Oh my god.
So in that case, it's essentially a splashdown, except you can remain in flight, and you have an Inkzuka blaster strapped to your noggin. I mean, it's kind of insane.
I mean, yeah, if people can use some of these weapons correctly, it's essentially the most overpowered thing ever.
Yeah. Again, I couldn't figure out how to even move with the thing, which I think that's its biggest detriment. Other than that, though, I think it's going to be, later on, it's going to be very easily taken out by a good sniper, since it moves so slowly. and it's in the air. I think it's either gonna become the meta-breaking, extreme, essentially what the Inkzuka was in the first year of Splatoon, or it's just going to be what the Ink Strike was for forever, essentially. You know, it's either going to be the best special or the worst special, just based on how good the snipers are in this game.
Okay, but I haven't played Splatoon in like the first year of it coming out, so explain to me what you mean by like how the Inkzuka was in the first year.
In the first year, the Inkzuka, when you pulled it out, it was like pulling out a Kraken that could shoot with the range of an E-liter. There was very little knockback damage after you shot it. It shot a lot faster, and once you pulled it out, you could shoot immediately instead of having to wait for that like half a second before you could. So people would be pulling it out to shoot people at arrow spray range, and they were doing it effectively. And then, you know, you could shoot down snipers with it. I think it had a little bit more range as well. It was just terrible.
It was just too OP.
Yep.
Nintendo. What were you thinking?
Another thing that I'd like to talk about, now that we're on the subject of Inkzuka, the vertical flick on the roller is a mini Inkzuka with fall-off damage.
Finally, fall-off damage.
Like, seriously, no competitive player is going to be rolling around anymore to get places. They're just going to be vertical flicking, because it's, you know how if you like halfway charge up, like, if you halfway charge up a charger, it shoots a short but perfectly accurate straight line. That's what the vertical flick is, exactly. Except it's a one shot.
It's a one shot depending on where you are in the flick.
Yeah. People were wondering if Carbon and Dynamo were actually going to get the vertical flick. I hope they don't, but if Dynamo does get a vertical flick, I think the normal flick is just going to be the one from Splatoon 1, and the vertical flick is going to be a quicker one-shot sort of deal. Like, you know how in the test fire, the vertical flick was the long-range accurate one, and the horizontal was the close-range inaccurate one. What if, for the Dynamo, they flipped that, so the vertical was close range and killed in one hit, and the horizontal was the long-range one? I mean, that would be rad.
Balancing patches, he screams.
Yep, that bouncing would be needed, but as for Carbon, I don't even know.
It would just be like about the same, except with whatever the range of the. I think I know how to figure it out. If Nintendo follows the same guidelines that they were using, a nice little math equation for you. You would take the maximum range of the Splat Roller's regular flick and put it over the maximum range of the Carbon Roller's vertical flick. And then you set that equal to the maximum range of the Splat Roller's vertical flick over X. And X would be how much range the Carbon Roller's vertical flick should have, unless Nintendo decides to make some kind of weird adjustments.
You're gonna have to write that down, because I kind of want to do that equation now. You're gonna have to write it down, because I can't remember all that. But
alright. Let me send it, kind of.
We should do that later though, because you're doing it now. While you're doing that, the splatter shot. How did you feel the splatter shot worked?
I mean, I think the splatter Splattershot played about the same, except for its special getting switched up.
Yeah, I think the normal splatter shot in this game might be better than the 10 attack from Splatoon 1 just because of the switch up in the special weapon. Because Burst Bomb Rush is kind of meh. And
Especially on refurbished mini.
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that strange white little thing. I think keeping burst bombs on the thing was a good idea because burst bombs in this game seem a lot more useful since I think they blow up faster, like a little bit faster, not much. And also, getting stuck in enemy ink in this game is like 10 times worse than it was in the original game. Like, your ink fills the entire screen, whereas in the first game, only the edges got stuck. Another thing with the ink is that the ink in Splatoon 1 was rendered very strangely, where it looked just like sort of water that was colored. Whereas in Splatoon 2, it actually looks like ink, and it's a lot darker, so it's harder to see people actually move and swim around in the ink, so it looks like they're teleporting more, you know, than they were in the first game. Not really like teleporting, but you know what I mean.
But then, you know, you've got this thing called lag, where teleporting just happens on a normal basis.
Yeah, but in the case of the harder to see ink, could that mean that Ninja Squid is gone, since it's so much harder to actually see people? Or do you think they'll just add that back in just cause?
I don't know.
Well, great answer, Pincher.
I know. I mean, if you think about it, there isn't much of a reason to keep Ninja Squid in.
Yeah, not very many people even used it anyway. Same thing with Cold Blooded. Why would you keep Cold Blooded in if Echolocator isn't coming back?
Yeah.
What else do we have to get through? Curling bombs. Did you like the curling bomb?
They were interesting, to say the least.
I think the curling bomb is it was definitely my favorite of all the bombs. I think it's probably going to be something that a lot of competitive players use, just because you have so many options with it. It's like, you throw it out, and it's a seeker, except it doesn't kill. Or, you know, it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't one-shot. But if you hold it for like a quarter of a second, you toss it out, it's sort of like a burst bomb sort of thing. You know, it goes out and then it blows up. But if you hold it for about a whole second, you chuck it out, and it's essentially a shield. Like, it's as if you threw a splat bomb out in front of you, and then it just blew up quicker. You know, curling bombs are very good.
Interesting.
I don't know, it's early in the morning for me. I just woke up like 2 hours ago. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's 1:30 in the afternoon, dude.
Hey.
My God.
I'm up till like 4:30, and then I wake up at 11, but...
I had to wake up at 7 this morning.
Sweet. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the curling bomb?
I think it could be used like you were describing, but I think it could use a little bit more, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be good enough in my mind. The way it's designed and stuff, the way it's designed to work, I don't think it's good enough.
I
But
think...
then that's just the opinion of a real scrubbish teenager.
Yeah, I think you've been smoking some stuff, because the curling bomb is insane. Just Just listen to me, okay? Give or take, when the game comes out, wait for 2 months and see how salty you get from curling bombs. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that because I know you're gonna get so salty, much assault.
I think I'm gonna be more salty from disconnections than anything else.
Well, yeah,
Even though it's just
everyone gets salty from disconnections.
even if it's just turf war, maybe you wanted to win that turf war. Maybe you just wanted that little bit more cash without putting your rank on the line, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. What else do we have to talk about?
I think we should talk about the servers. Just real briefly, though.
But why?
Because I feel I have the need to talk about it. Just let me explain what I'm thinking here. The servers in Splatoon, the original Splatoon, matched you up with anyone in the world, except for during Splat Fets, where you would be put regionally. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And and now in Splatoon 2, it's always regional,
Yeah.
which is gonna make things, less laggy, because trying to send information from one place to the other in a short time frame is kind of hard to do. Especially with the way the original Splatoon had it, because it sent almost too much information to the server and then back to 8 players games, or 7 or 6, or just one more, however many there are in the battle. Which causes some of this lag, especially with lower pings, because it takes longer for it to reach the initial server, and then it takes longer to reach everyone else's games. And I think that's how Splatoon lag is formed. Not by a drop in FPS, but by that.
Well, yeah, that's how lag in all online games is formed. Silly boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. The drop in FPS is just in other games. And it's a result of lag, not a cause. Sorry.
I think we should talk about the charge hold on the charger. Because overall the charger got the worst kit in the whole test fire. With the Splat Bomb and the Stingray. And the charge hold isn't anywhere as good as you would think it would be, because it only holds for like 2 seconds.
Right.
Or at least, that's on the normal Splat charger. I have a feeling that the new Squiffer's gonna come around, and it's gonna be like a total stealth recon. They're gonna give it like a stealthy recon sort of kit, and it's gonna be able to hold a charge for like 30 seconds. So it's just gonna be swimming around the whole. It's gonna charge up at the beginning of the game, and then just swim around to the enemy's base and like flank them and shoot the crap out of them. That'd be fantastic.
That would be insane.
Everyone would spam like swim speed and like Ninja Squid. It's gonna be the stealth Squiffer. There's not gonna be a laser on it or anything.
It's just gonna be here's a reticle.
Yup.
That's it. That would be weird, honestly. So many people would not be able to get used to that. I want to do, theories, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
You know, things that we think could happen. As far as even the story. but I think it's almost too early to determine that.
I think the story's definitely going to be longer than the first game, but I think it's going to serve the same sort of purpose, where it's just kind of trying to get new players, trying to teach new players how to play the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. That's all I have to say, single player wise. I remember when they announced Salmon Run, like when was that? A week or two ago? I remember I thought that was a single player mode at first, but I was completely wrong.
You were wrong, sir.
I was wrong. Anything
What
from
if there
you?
was competitive Salmon Run?
Well, I don't see why there wouldn't be. Whoa, I just flung something out of my hand.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Anything else?
I don't know. I think we've covered everything.
Okay. Then,
But for now, I think we've covered everything we want.
yep.
But I think next episode we should do, like, strategies for ranked as of now.
Okay.
You know, strats, team comps,
Yep.
stuff like that. Sound good.
Yep. So anyway, goodbye, viewers of the internet. I dearly hope you've enjoyed this random onslaught of conversation between two random children. Goodbye.